Today we are doing a carnivore meal prep with pulled pork and a spreadable butter mayonnaise. I'm Anita from KetogenicWoman.com, where I share keto and carnivore recipes and other cooking ideas that have helped me to lose over 135 pounds. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you check out some of my other videos. And for those of you returning, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Okay, so we are going to be making two things today. I need to do some meal prep because I've been away. The fridge is pretty empty. And I'm shopping from my freezer this month. So in my freezer, I found this 6-pound pork shoulder roast, and that worked out to be $3.16 a pound. So I'm going to braise it in the oven in this large Dutch oven, and I'm really hoping it's going to fit. It looks like it'll be tight. I will make it fit somehow. The other thing I'm making today, which I'm very excited about, is the new spreadable butter mayo from Chris Cooking Nashville from his YouTube channel. He's a fairly new YouTuber, but he's coming up with some amazing recipes and ideas. And I saw this just before I left for Texas. So I posted it on Facebook and asked people to try it and give their opinion. They all seemed to love it and they said, yes, it's spreadable. So I'm very excited to make that today as well. So before we get started with this giant piece of meat, I want to take a quick moment to thank Element for sponsoring today's video. What is Element? Element is a super tasty electrolyte drink that contains everything your body needs without all of the junk ingredients. The flavored Element does contain stevia leaf extract as the sweetener, so if that is something that you're sensitive to or you don't want sweet taste, I would suggest the raw Element, which I love it over water and ice cubes. That's what I take when I go and do my workout. So you do have those options. It contains a science-backed formula of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. And right now, Element is offering to my viewers this free sample pack. It contains all 8 flavors. You get it free with any purchase from their website, which will be linked below, and you'll also see it on the screen. You get all 8 flavors to try that you can try yourself to see what your favorite is, or you can share it with a salty friend. The website is drinklmnt.com/ketogenicwoman. That's DRINKLMNT.com/ketogenicwoman. The clickable link will be down below. Thank you, Element, for sponsoring today's video. So we are going to set this free from the plastic. I'm going to take it over to the stove to sear it as much as I can, and then it's going to go in the oven, and then we will make the butter mayo, and I'm very excited about that as well. We'll see you over there at the stove once I have this out of its plastic. Okay, I'm going to put in a couple of tablespoons of bacon grease. It is free. I like to use it wherever possible. And just going to let that melt and then try to sear this on as many sides as I possibly can. While I'm waiting for this to heat up, I am going to rub some salt on here. Now, I know that a lot of people, when they make pulled pork, they put things like paprika and cayenne and barbecue seasoning, and you are certainly free to do that. I try to keep things as simple as possible with my carnivore eating because I am sensitive to lots of different spices. So That's why a lot of times you only see me using salt or salt and white pepper. And that is just the way it is for me. But you feel free to put on what you want. I know a lot of people like that slap your mama seasoning, which I saw when I was in the States. So yeah, you do what is best for you. Okay, I'm going to put it in. Ah, there we go. Okay, this is not going to be an easy one to flip. So I'm going to give that another minute and then try my best. Okay, let's see here. Oops. Let it go on that side. One of the things I really like about pork shoulder, and you can probably see it here, is all the fat in there makes this very juicy when it's finished, and it makes just a super moist and tender pulled pork. Everyone's gonna love it. Okay, I'm gonna go down again for the other side. An alternative way that you can make this is in your crock pot, with or without searing. I've done it without searing by just throwing it in my crock pot all day. I really like this method the best. It's my favorite. So I want to try to render off some of this fat on the side. I don't know how successful I'll be because this is pretty big, but I'm gonna give it a try. There we go. All right. So I am using this as the final position because I want the fat layer to be on the top so that while it's cooking, it'll all melt down into the actual roast and it's going to make it super juicy and tender. So at this point, I've turned off the element and I'm just going to put the lid on. And the oven is set to 325. I am ready to put this in the oven, but I wanted to say, if you have a Dutch oven like this, which is a heavy cast iron pot, you probably only need about 5 hours in the oven. If you're doing it another way, say putting the roast in a pan and maybe covering it with foil to make it airtight, you could need up to 6 hours. So I just wanted to say that you can do this in the oven. You don't need this pot. And that's how I would do it if it was me. So just wanted to let you know that. The oven is set to 325. I will check it in about 5 hours. It should be ready. Okay, make sure your rack is at the bottom. I'm putting it on the lowest rack. Okay, let's go back over there. This is gonna take a few hours to cook. We're going to make the spreadable butter mayo now. Okay, I am ready to make the mayonnaise and I'm so excited. So I'll just quickly run over what's in it. 1 stick of butter, an egg white, and an egg yolk. So be sure you separate those. Don't add it all at once. It won't work quite the same. Pinch of salt. This is Redmond's real salt. A little bit of Dijon mustard and a little bit of apple cider vinegar. I use this one with the mother. So I'm going to link Chris's recipe below because he goes into all the details of why each of these ingredients, like why they work, how they work, why this technique is the best way to go. And I'm going to trust him on that because I think he seems to be quite knowledgeable on his cooking techniques. Where I'm just a hack. You know, I learned from bitter experience or watching people like him. So he also mentioned that if you have a tall, narrow container that this fits into, that is best. I don't have that. I looked everywhere, and the tall ones I couldn't fit my plunger thing into. But this cup, it fits okay at the bottom, and I believe that narrowness was mostly to get the egg yolk emulsified with the other ingredients. And the other thing I wanted to mention is if you are one of those very, very, very strict carnivores who does not, do vinegar or mustard or any of that, then fine, just leave it out. No need to tell me they're not carnivore. I know that already. I just choose to use them because they do not affect my progress or my health, in my opinion. So there you have it. I'm going to go ahead with this. First, I'm putting this into the microwave to melt that down, make it very hot. Okay, this is definitely hot enough. It's a little bit bubbly, and I will get started with putting the egg yolk into the bottom of this. My stick blender only has one speed, so I will just make the best of it. I'm going to add my pinch of salt, and you got to shake this because things settle to the bottom. So I'm going to add my 2 teaspoons. I do like the flavor of apple cider vinegar. You could use lemon. I really like apple cider vinegar. I like it on my sardines too. I know that sounds weird, but there you have it. And do a little bit of Dijon. These do not have to be exact. You can use more or less or none. Entirely up to you. Saving the egg white for the last step. I really need to find a jar that this fits into. I'm hoping it works. I am going to start adding the butter. Just very slowly. You need to be patient. I can see this is thickening up, and it is emulsifying nicely. Okay, we're almost done. This is looking really thick and good. It's okay, Teddy. All right, so far so good. We have what is our normal, typical butter mayo. Now I was making mine with double the egg yolks, trying to make it so that it did soften up or stay soft in the fridge. I also have added hot water. I've added MCT oil I've done all kinds of different things. Never thought to add an egg white. So that's kind of brilliant because, it's pretty simple, and you've already broken an egg to get the yolk out. So I'm just going to show it to you the way it sits right now. I just want to get some of this off and then show it to you once I do the next step. Here it is. I mean, it kind of looks almost like a salad dressing. It's quite runny. But we all know that once that goes in the fridge for a few hours, and especially the next day, it is no longer going to be this lovely spreadable texture. It's going to be like a brick. So I just want to taste it though. I don't think I need to add anything. I think it's perfect. So here's the secret sauce part. This is where you add the egg white just on top and then just continue to mix it. Several hours from now, when we pull out the pork roast and do all that, this will have had a few hours in the fridge, and we're gonna see how it is. So I'm literally just going to dump that egg white on top. It's okay, this is gonna be good. So that was about 10 or 15 seconds. I kind of counted in my head. And there's bubbles on top, which Chris said that would happen. And that was when you know the magic has happened. Yeah, just scrape that off a bit. Just give that a bit of a stir. That is going to go in the fridge. Because right now it looks, you know, like very thick cream maybe. It looks like it shouldn't work because it's so thin. I'm going to put it in the fridge, let it cool down, do its thing. We're letting the roast cook, and we'll see you back later when this has had a few hours in the fridge, and that has done its magic in there. So see you in the next segment. Okay, we are back. The pork roast, the pork shoulder roast, is done. I first wanted to test out the mayonnaise. So here it is. I just took it out of the fridge. I haven't stuck a knife in it or anything. You can kind of see the bubbles are still on the top, just like they were when I put it in. So this has been about 5 hours. I'm so curious. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there we go. Look at that. I'm pretty excited about this. It did form just a little skin on the top, but that's okay because that can just be stirred in. Oh, even the dogs are excited. They must think I've got the meat out here already. Let me give that a little try. This is a game changer. Thank you, Chris. I might bring some of this along later, taking some of that pulled pork over to my son's place. I'm pretty impressed. I'm going to put it back in the fridge, and we're going to get the pork roast out. So while I was waiting for that, I went to the post office box. Have not been there in over a month because of traveling and KetoCon and everything else, and there's cards there. Somebody sent me a lovely card that came from Claire. Thank you so much, Claire. I'm not going to read you guys everything that's in these cards because another person wrote me an actual letter. And she included a Barbados coin. And yeah, so that was very nice. And then this here from Little Willow, which I love this because as soon as I opened it, so this is a birthday card. It was my birthday in March. But as soon as I opened it, my first thought was 20-minute workout. Do any of you remember the 20-minute workout where these 3 young women with big hair, and they would wear leggings and tights and this exact sort of outfit, and they would do all these sexy moves on TV, 20-minute aerobic workout. Anyways, this reminded me of that, and I have a feeling that some of you that are my age probably remember this. So I got a good kick out of that. Thank you, Little Willow, aka Debbie. I really love this card. So I'm sorry that these, I don't know how long these have been sitting there, but I haven't been there in a month, so wanted to acknowledge them. Woo, okay. Okay, this looks and smells amazing. So I just want to show you that I'm going to take some of it out, put it on the board here, and just show you what I do with it. Now I know I've had comments before when I've made any pulled chicken, pork, whatever, about putting it in like using your KitchenAid mixer or electric handheld mixers to make your pulled stuff. But you know, I really like doing it the old-fashioned way with 2 forks. But just take a look at how juicy and tender this is. I mean, some people do add in the liquid to their pulled stuff. You don't even have to do that. You can if you want, if you're making a big bowl of it. But just, I mean, you don't need knives. You don't need anything. This is going to make amazing, amazing pulled pork sandwiches over at my son's house. I'm going to be taking this over. I have some sugar-free barbecue sauce. You know, there are other, my daughter's keto My daughter-in-law is type 2 diabetic, so you know, sugar-free barbecue sauce does work for them. I'm probably just going to have a bowl of this on its own. But what they will do is they will put it on buns. I'm providing some coleslaw as well. So you put it on a bun with some coleslaw and some barbecue sauce, and it makes a great meal, especially since it's raining out and we cannot do any grilling or barbecuing. I want to give this a try. I can see Pippi is here waiting. Teddy is politely waiting on the carpet over there. So let me give this a try, and then you guys can try it too.
So good.
Okay, doggies. Who can lay down? Oh, I love it. Aren't they good? Okay, so here is our pulled pork. You saw the mayo. Thank you so much, Chris. I'm going to link his channel below, Chris Cooking Nashville. He's got some amazing ideas. Keep them coming, Chris. And thank you again for that wonderful mayo recipe. I'm going to finish pulling all the pork, put it in a pot with a lid. Maybe I'll even just keep it in this pot and go over to my son's for dinner. So I am glad to be back cooking again, and thank you very much, everyone. We will see you on the next video.
Give me a second, you'll hear what we're about to do. So I haven't had breakfast yet, so don't test me. That reminds me.